Today, we're diving into a pretty provocative theory from way back in the 1930s. It asks a radical question. Could our diets be shaping not just our bodies, but our behavior and, get this, the health of our entire society? We all know that food affects our physical health, right? That's a given. But what if it goes deeper? What if it also shapes our minds, our personalities, and maybe even our moral compass? That's the huge idea we're going to be unpacking today. All right, so where in the world does a claim this big come from? Well, to find the source, we've got to turn the clock back to the early 20th century. The man behind this whole idea is Dr. Weston Price. He was a dentist who, back in the 1930s, traveled all over the globe studying the diets and health of isolated populations, people who hadn't been exposed to modern foods yet. And he put everything he found into his massive book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Now, the specific claim we're digging into comes from Chapter 18, which he actually titled Moral and Mental Degeneration. Okay, so here it is, the core of his argument. Dr. Price wasn't just saying that bad food harms the body. No, he was proposing a direct correlation, a chain reaction, linking poor nutrition to impaired brain development, which he then connected to a rise in personality disorders and even crime. So, how exactly does he get from nutrition to crime? It sounds like a huge leap, right? To get it, we really need to follow his logic step by step, starting with the very foundation, this link he saw between food and what he called physical degeneration. For Dr. Price, it all starts with food. Not just any food, though. He was all about nutrient-dense, traditional diets that he believed were absolutely essential for building strong, healthy bodies from the ground up. So what happens when those key nutrients are missing? Well, he argued that the body goes through what he called physical degeneration. And this wasn't just about feeling sick. It was about the literal structure of the body. He pointed to things he observed, like narrow dental arches and facial structures in people who had switched over to modern processed diets. But okay, here's where the theory takes its most controversial turn, connecting the physical problems of the body directly to what's going on in the mind. Dr. Price basically laid out a domino effect. As you can see, it kicks off with a nutrient-deficient diet. That leads to physical degeneration. From there, he claimed it messes with the development of the brain and the nervous system. And the final and definitely most controversial domino to fall is what he called mental and moral degeneration. This whole argument really hinges on one simple biological fact. The brain is a physical part of the body. So Price's theory suggests that if the nutritional building blocks aren't there to build a healthy body, then the brain and the nervous system, the actual hardware for our thoughts and behaviors, are going to be compromised too. Now, if you follow that logic, a poorly built brain isn't just one person's problem. Dr. Price argued that when this starts happening on a mass scale, the consequences ripple outwards, and society as a whole ends up paying a pretty significant price. You can really see the two different paths his theory lays out here. It's like a fork in the road. On one side, you have proper nutrition, creating a solid foundation for both physical and mental well-being. But on the other side, he argued that nutritional deficiencies kick off that chain reaction we just saw, leading to some serious societal problems. And to be really specific, these are the societal costs he laid out in Chapter 18. It's a full-on progression, starting with a general decline in physical health, which leads to compromised brain development across the population, which he then connects to a rise in personality disorders, and at the very end of the chain, an increase in crime rates. So after tracing this entire chain of logic, all the way from a single meal to the state of an entire society, what's the ultimate takeaway from Dr. Price's theory? It's really this. His work presents a straight, unbroken line that stretches from the micro level of what you and I eat all the way to the macro level of how our society functions and behaves. I mean, that is a truly wild and provocative idea. And that leaves us with a final, powerful question to think about. Whether you agree with his conclusions or not, his theory really forces us to ask, does the health of our society truly begin at the dinner table?